Welcome everybody, my name is Michael or Kubera, and before we get into the video, I want to put a quick disclaimer. First of all, the video was recorded back before a very important update took place, so I just want to make sure that no one is purchasing Hex 2T or Hex 3T, because if you buy Hex 2T or Hex 3T, those are worthless tokens. So it has been updated right now, and the correct way to buy, I'm going to have my link below. It's going to be AXION.vip. If you go through my link, you get a bonus 10%. And if you're not sure about AXION just yet, that's okay. Take your time. We're going to have Jeff from TrustSwap marketing AXION later this month. It's probably going to be right before Christmas, so the 21st of December, maybe the 22nd. He's got a big Facebook group, and there's a lot of other YouTubers that are going to be promoting AXION. So if you want to do your research, wait a bit, that's okay. Hey, maybe in a week or two, it might be a better time to buy for you. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Welcome everybody. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. My name is Michael. I am your host today from the cryptocurrency YouTube channel Kubera. Today we're discussing about AXION, which you can find at axion.network. First, we're going to go into AXION, why it is an exciting pick. Currently, it is valued at $0.00029, but some experts believe it could go all the way up to 1 cent and a $3 billion market cap or above. Now, before we get into this video, I want to discuss that I am not a financial advisor. Please double check and do all of your research before undertaking any investments into any project. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Now we're going to be making some comparisons between AXION and Hex, which you can see it is right here, Hex 2T. This is a rebranding, so it's not going to remain like that. It will say AXION, but there is a specific reason for this. So first of all, before we get into this, it might be a little bit confusing for all of the newbies to cryptocurrency, and that's okay. So let us start off with the basics. Here is Bitcoin, $13,000, 457.62 today. The total market cap is a ripe $250 billion with a 24-hour volume of 29.5 billion. Out of 21 million Bitcoin, there are currently 18.5 million in circulation. This does seem like a lot, but it is a finite currency, and there's plenty of benefits to cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin especially in comparison to fiat currency, but there are also some downsides. It's good to have a pros and cons list for both fiat currency and cryptocurrency. However, you're probably watching this because you're interested in cryptocurrencies and you'd like to invest in them. So today we're not going to be going into the details of what makes a cryptocurrency, how it's secure, what the blockchain and the ledger are. Those will be explored in other videos. Today we're going to be looking at the charts. A quick, simple look that you non-cryptocurrency investor can understand. So CoinMarketCap is one of the largest websites that have display charts of all of the cryptocurrencies that are in the system. Now there's various systems, and for AXION we're looking currently at CoinGecko. Both websites are fine, but that does not mean that these are all of the cryptocurrencies, all of the altcoins, all of these tokens that are currently out on the markets. There's hundreds of exchanges, there's tens of thousands of various tokens, but really there's only thousands that are actually important. Out of those, only a few hundred are worth looking into. So you have to take into account two things. One is that not all cryptocurrencies will be on CoinMarketCap, on CoinGecko, or any other website that you use. It takes some time before they're on these websites. Now, that also leads us to the second predicament. If you look, here it is in 2013. Was Bitcoin around before April 30th, 2013? Of course it was. It was around in 2012. It was around in 2011, 2010, 2009. Satoshi made this years before it was on CoinMarketCap. Now, you're going to find a lot of tokens were actually made and released months or even years before they were listed on these websites. Now, the reason I'm exploring this with you is that I want you to understand when you go underneath the charts and you see all of this data under the price, if you see the all-time highs and the all-time lows, here it is, July 5th, 2013, $65.53 USD. That is the all-time low from the date that CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko have listed these cryptocurrencies. That does not mean in the entire history of that cryptocurrency, it was the all-time low or all-time high. Usually for many successful projects, the all-time high will be actually what is listed on these markets, but the all-time low will differ. So with Bitcoin, we understand that $65 is not the cheapest you could have actually had a Bitcoin with. Back in the very early days, you could have had thousands of Bitcoins for pennies. Same thing with AXION, same thing with a lot of these cryptocurrencies. Price listed, the all-time low price is much different in many cases because there's just so many projects out there that CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko and all of these charting websites, there's no possible way they can know about every single project, nor should they actually post about every single project because there are a lot of failures. There's some scam projects. Some projects never get fully released. So with that out of the way, I'm going to show you how possibly AXION could jump from today's price using the past history of Bitcoin, of Ethereum, and of one of my personal favorites, Vibe Hub, which you're going to see this crazy pump in just a second. But if we just look, even in 2013, all right, you know, it was below $100 at an all-time low for CoinMarketCap here. On April 30th, it was $136. It doesn't really matter. These are small amounts anyways. If you go to the all-time high here, we see 17,000, 18,000, it reached $20,000. Even if you bought in at $1,000, you put in $10,000 when Bitcoin was $1,000, then you sold it at the all-time high of $20,000. That means you received a 20x return. Your $10,000 just turned into a house, into $200,000. With Bitcoin, that seems pretty crazy, but the real money was made not from the people investing at $1,000 or $500, even $100. It was with those individuals. Probably heard about the 10,000 Bitcoin pizza story. Well, an individual, an early investor, bought 2 Bitcoin pizzas. Those 10,000 Bitcoins, well, you can just see the price. It's worth tens of millions of dollars. At one point, it was close to $200 million. The real money came from the early investors that held on from when Bitcoin was worth pennies to selling when it was tens of thousands of dollars. Ethereum's at $388. Ethereum was produced by Vitalik Buterin and his team. Came out much later after Bitcoin. Here it is in 2015. It was priced at $1.13. At the all-time high, it was $1,432.88. That is a crazy return right there. All-time low, it says here, is 42 cents, so even below $1. But that still takes some time. You still had to be one of the early investors, and you had to wait a few years before it blew up. So one of my personal favorites is Vibe. As you can see, it was a massive pump, and currently it only has a market cap of $3 million. But back in 2017, this was a pretty hyped up project. I remember receiving an email from one of the founders saying that if in exchange for some work that I would have done, a few $1,000s for my work would suddenly be transformed into 10x that. I kind of laughed it off. Thought, all right, well, let's do the job, let's get paid. And I did actually sell with a 33% gain. I was happy with that. I didn't really believe the founder because in most cases you should be skeptical. After I sold it, that it continued to rise. That's okay. I sold it with an extra gain on top and I was happy with that. But then I checked that a week later that $3,000, $4,000 would have been worth $20,000. 3 months later, it would have been worth over $1.1 million. So that was one of those life-changing moments, I guess. And here we see, oh man, this is crazy. So let's look at the numbers. The all-time low is 0.004229 US dollars, with the all-time high here being $2.7. But again, this listed all-time low is not the lowest it was. Before this was an ICO, before this ICO was even launching its coins, months before that, you had the early pre-investment pools. You had people who, like me, were getting paid by these companies. And the price per token back then was very, very, very minimal. There were plenty of projects like Vibe Hub back in 2018 that they pumped up into the sky. I personally knew multiple people that made hundreds of thousands of dollars it happened within a matter of a few weeks, really. Well, 2017, 2018, we all remember the ICO days. There was this huge bull run, then regulation came in, and there was the crypto crash of 2018. But now 2020 is quite a year for DeFi projects. And that brings us all the way to AXION, Hex2T. $0.00029 currently. Over the past 30 days, there was a 33.5% gain. Over the past 14 days, a 73% gain. Gain from the all-time low of 19,484%. That is absolutely phenomenal. The all-time low is 0.000000148. The all-time high, 0.0003176. Now, at the very beginning, we see here that the price was 0.0001633. This was when it was launched. This was when it was posted on CoinGecko. Notice how that says the 15th of June, 2020. Well, I want you to take a look at, you're able to do this with Etherscan or Ethplore. You're able to explore some of these addresses that were whales. This is absolutely crazy. We're about to do the math on this. And then we're going to go into explaining the project, what it is, and why maybe you should be interested in it. First of all, it was a $31 transaction, $31.29, 0.08 WETH. The value at the transaction date actually was lower, so it wasn't even a full $18. $17.61. Currently, the price of WETH is $391.13. Now, what did this 0.08 buy? Well, 1,859,259,466.46 Hex2T. Nearly 2 billion Hex2T out of a total supply of 250 billion. This is a whale. Notice the date. 0530. That was May. So this wasn't June. This was before it was listed on CoinGecko. An early investor. Well, let's do the math. From $18, this is a whale in terms of the token amount, but $18, anybody can invest $18, right? Now, that doesn't mean that if you invest in it right now, you're going to receive the same returns, because this is just crazy. This was an early investor. However, there are still opportunities for massive growth. I did the math here. 0.00029,824 times that 1.85 billion. That is $554,505, my friends. $554,000 from an $18, not even a full $18 transaction. That should be enough to get your attention. AXION, a global currency built for the people. Well, what is it? AXION's launch is going to make crypto believers out of mainstream investors. This month, a new crypto project called the AXION Network will achieve a major milestone. It will see its main net launch, and it will go public. The reason that's so significant is that AXION represents a new breed of cryptocurrency. It's not a utility token or an attempt at replacing fiat currencies. It's an investment vehicle that's aimed at one of the biggest untapped markets left in the crypto world: mainstream income investors. It's not just a cryptocurrency, my friends. It aims to lure both crypto investing veterans and traditional investors with a stable and reliable return. AXION isn't just a cryptocurrency. It's a time-locked investment system. It's purpose-built. Thanks to the way it's designed, it has a stable inflationary curve. So that means it will fight volatility to help produce a high ROI. Think of it as the crypto equivalent of a bank-issued certificate of deposit. In exchange for time-locked investment, owners of the AXION cryptocurrency receive a base return of 8%. With bank CDs hovering at an average 1% or below, that's unheard of, really, in the real world. Mechanisms built specifically to curb volatility. So AXION's using smart contracts to automate and control market-making functions. It allows AXION to auction off token penalties, and then it will use 80% of the daily proceeds to execute a token buyback. The auction system produces all the funding required to operate, maintain, and further develop the AXION network in the form of the remaining 20% of the auction proceeds. Penalties to discourage flash sales. The other way that AXION works to protect investors is that it doesn't only rely on disincentives like penalties. It also deploys a strong system of incentives. It does this by tapping a pool of AXION that was set aside for free claim. What that is, holders of HEX could have received AXION for free, kind of like an airdrop. Now, they did have a limit of 10 million AXION tokens. Also, current HEX2T owners will get a 1-to-1 exchange rate for the new AXION token. Because the free claim and conversion process won't use up all the reserved AXION, the platform will reallocate the remainder to reward investors. The first 10% of the leftover pool will be split among investors when they complete their first year of staking. Then the distribution will increase by 5% each year up until the 5th year of AXION's operation. For investors, it's free money above and beyond their 8% inflationary reward, as well as providing stability. I took a few screenshots to laser focus on the most important bits off of their website. How is AXION distributed? Anyone holding HEX2T tokens will receive AXION at a rate of 1-to-1. 1-to-1 free claim for HEX holders and stakers. There is a 2% weekly penalty for unclaimed tokens. Late conversions and the free claims means there's more money for the investor. If HEX holders do not claim their AXION tokens, they will become available for purchase in the daily auction. There is a 500 billion initial total supply. 80% of Ethereum earned in auctions is used to buy back tokens. 100% of all purchased tokens are distributed to stakers. There's no auto stake, 8% annual inflation, and a 1-to-1 free claim rate. Now we're on Uniswap here. Ethereum to HEX2T pairs. If we hit the trade option, that will bring us to this right here. 1 Ethereum currently will get us 1,333,730 HEX2T. Now earlier we mentioned HEX. It is a related project because owners of HEX could have claimed AXION tokens. So let's see how HEX is doing. But before we get into that, let's explore the website. This is absolutely phenomenal here. Cryptocurrencies are the highest appreciating asset class in the history of mankind. Bitcoin's price did 2 million times from 0.01, 1 penny, to $20,000 in 7 years. Ethereum did 10,633 times from 15 cents to 15.95 in 2.5 years. Now this 15.95, actually, that was not the all-time high on CoinMarketCap, so that was probably on a different market that wasn't included into CoinMarketCap's average, but that's for a different video. Still crazy returns. Had you put in $1, you could have made millions. Many did. Life-changing wealth. As long as you didn't sell, and there's probably thousands of moments that you could have sold, but for the ones who remained, hey, it's a little bit of luck and a little bit of skill. HEX's price has gone up 92 times versus Bitcoin, 79 times versus Ethereum, and 115 times versus USD in only 129 days. And here they did on the London taxi cabs, this huge advertising campaign. It went up 11,500% in 129 days. So what's more important than something going up in a matter of a few years, something going up in a matter of a few weeks or a few months? Currently, HEX is valued at 0.0093. We can see on the charts, it just was like a straight arrow after a long time of not really much going on, from 2019 all the way up here to April 2020. Suddenly there was a huge boost for that. Now HEX is an important cryptocurrency, but it has a very controversial founder. So what does that mean for a token like AXION that has a much more respectable founder? Opinions change everything, especially when there are rumors floating around. All it takes is for one tweet to suddenly cause a whale to dump, and then everybody follows suit. So a lot of people believe that AXION has greater potential than HEX even. 1 Ethereum gets you 1.3 million HEX2T AXION. 1 Ethereum for the HEX to Ether pair will get you 40,964. This won't remain at this level forever. You may very well see 1 Ethereum will get you 40,000, 50,000 AXION in the very near future. 2021, maybe 2022. which will produce a pretty healthy ROI. It isn't often that the crypto market witnesses the birth of a project that has real innovation with serious staying power. But the AXION network's got what it takes to revolutionize its market segment. And it's going to make plenty of new believers once it begins to prove its worth as a source of reliable, long-term income. And you can take that to the bank. So we're going to be creating more content, going a deep dive into AXION once the mainnet and everything goes up. A lot of people are very excited about this. You can just see the responses on Reddit. Also with the upcoming political turmoil, the upcoming elections, the pandemic, there's a few things in motion. PayPal accepting cryptocurrency. There's definitely a lot of events going on over the next 2 weeks. Once there's a lot of gasoline, all it takes is one spark for it to ignite and suddenly shoot straight up. So this is definitely a project that is worth exploring. Now, should you invest in it, you have to do your research, you have to go through the white paper. But in my opinion, it is something worth looking into. And that is it for today's video. So thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next one.